I'm Jenny Fern and welcome to my library. I'm a chaotic neutral mechanical engineer who's really into permaculture and wants to talk about books. So let's talk about books. I just took a break to down like that entire lemonade and now I'm back. Hello! Today's video is going to be a short one. It is going through all of the books that I've read somewhat recently that I don't own yet, that I would love to own. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to buy these soon. So the first one, and kind of the inspiration for this video, is Walking Practice by Dolki. I read this last month, and I just thought it was so good. I'm really making an effort this year to read more from the books that I own on my shelves, but I got Walking Practice from the library because I treat myself every once in a while to books that I don't own, and I loved this book so much. It is about an alien who is trying to survive on our planet, survives by eating people. I just really enjoyed the descriptions of like inhabiting this body, this alien body, and like trying to blend in with a human world. And I thought it was really good. So I'd love to own that one. I am so obsessed, and I cannot stop being obsessed with the Apothecary Diaries. I've mentioned it a few times. This is a light novel series by Natsu Hyuuga. There are so many reasons why I love this series. I started watching it as the anime. I started reading the light novels because I was so obsessed with the characters and the story that I had to keep going. Basically, it is set in like an imperial China type setting. We are following a teenage girl who gets kidnapped into serving, like doing laundry and stuff for the emperor's domain, like the royal city kind of area, the palace, I guess. She then gets noticed by this incredibly handsome eunuch who identifies her as somebody who actually has like a very thoughtful brain, and she is used to solve several mysteries around the palace. Some of it gets so goofy, but I genuinely really enjoy so many of the characters, and it just keeps me coming back. So anyway, I'd love to own the whole series, honestly. I would love to. The next thing on my list is Girl's Last Tour, which does not have that many volumes. I've read the full manga. I would love to own the complete thing, but it's very likely that I'm just gonna get the first volume so that I can feel like I own it, and then if I want to reread it, I might rent it again from the library. Girl's Last Tour is this post-apocalyptic exploration with these two also teenage girls who are on this like kind of like tread motorcycle vehicle, and they're going up the tiers of this city, and clearly something horrible has happened. There's lots of signs of warfare. There's very minimal life, very minimal people, and they have this goal to get up to the top level. And this follows that story, and it's very contemplative and quiet, and I loved it so much. The next book that I have, I had got from NetGalley, and I was so happy to have received a copy of this, an e-arc of The Dilemmas of Working Women by Fumio Yamamoto, because this is a collection of 5 short stories that follow these mostly women. There's a story that follows a man. They were written in a time of recession in Japan, and they are really rooted in these women who are having a bit of a hard time, who are maybe in a time of crisis or hardship, and they're just kind of trying to keep it together, trying to go through life And a few of these stories I thought were just absolute masterpieces, so I would love to own a copy of that work. The next work is Glowrushes by Roberto Piumini. This was a very warm, comforting, heart-wrenching story, almost akin to The Little Prince or The Alchemist in tone. We are following an artist who is hired to paint a mural of the world on a sickly boy's room, the walls of his room. And it just follows their relationship, and I thought it was really beautiful and just an experience, so I'd love to own that. The next book is something that exists in the public domain, and sometimes it is actually kind of hard to find beautifully bound books that exist in the public domain. Some of it is probably just if there's a market for it or not. But Olympia by Ferenc Molnár, translated by Sydney Howard, is this play that I read last year. I think at the time I was reading it, I likened it to like an episode of The Kardashians, because we're following these very like out of touch aristocratic figures. They've been duped. They've run across a deception. There's something super problematic about this story, but then on the other hand, I found it extremely entertaining. So I think having a copy of that would be fun, but that definitely seems like a long shot. I also read this next book on NetGalley, and that is The Hounding by Xenobe Purvis. This book was so cool, and really, I think about it a lot. It follows these girls, these sisters, who have been accused of turning into dogs. There's this like creepy guy who has been spurned by one of them, and they're being taken care of by, I think it's their grandfather, who is blind. And we're kind of in this world. It's this older setting on the Thames, like in the past, I mean. And they are fighting against these like societal expectations. Like some of the sisters are quite off-putting, like they're not very warm in their demeanor. And it's just such an interesting read. The comp titles mentioned in the description of the book, it says The Virgin Suicides meets The Crucible. And having read both The Virgin Suicides and The Crucible now, I'd say that's fairly apt. The next book I had read from my library. I read this last year and I really, really enjoyed this. This was Moon of the Crusted Snow by Waubgeshig Rice. And this follows an indigenous community in Canada. We're in an apocalyptic scenario. Something has gone horribly wrong with society at large, and we're in like a bit of a survival situation, and we are following members of this indigenous community and how they help each other survive, even through like really horrific situations. There was something about it that I just thought was so perfect for me. I highly recommend it, and I would love to own it. This, I think I mentioned in a video a while back how I wasn't sure, but I probably would want to own this. The time has unfolded since I've read this, and I really would like to own this because I actually enjoyed it so much and I would love to reread it. That's The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. So much about this book is so cool. We are in a weird setting. The house is like slightly off. Like the angles are weird. It's like the Winchester Mystery House in some regards. And we have these people brought into the house, and they're like expecting to experience some sort of phenomena there. And our main lady, she was so relatable. She seems to be a high anxiety person, as am I. I was with her for her ride that she went through in this book. And this last one is also something that I read through the public domain. So again, I'm not thoroughly expecting it to be in a beautiful published format, but that's Strange Interlude by Eugene O'Neill. I should have mentioned Olympia is a play. Strange Interlude is also a play, but it's like very, very long. It's like a 6-hour play. We are in the mind of this character, Nina. She experiences the loss of like her high school sweetheart through war. Then we follow her through her life, and there are these suitors and men who orbit her throughout her life, and family members as well. And it really explores the internal monologue as a form for people to experience externally through this play. And I just really, really liked it. Those are books that I would like to own, but I don't yet. That's me. I am now gonna take a shower because I'd been doing yard work all day, picking a bunch of field peas from my lawn, and then I mowed said lawn because it was extremely tall. It was a lot of work, and now I would like to clean myself. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider sharing it with a friend who you think would also enjoy it. Consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again soon.